Hi, hello everyone. Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, great. Have a great morning today. And for the Muslim friends, Selamat berpuasa. And do you have any Indian boys there? Indian participants? If there is,
Yes.
yes, great. So if there is any, very good Happy New Year for you. And yeah, maybe we just try to, get together for a while because I'm still waiting for the rest of the participants. Currently, we're having how many participants now? Now we have 58 participants. Okay, please inform your friends in case that they cannot access the Zoom session. No need to worry, because after the Zoom session, this video will be posted to the YouTube. Okay, you have been given a link, right? How many of you have never keyed in the Google form yet? Anyone? Students? I believe that everyone have already keyed the Google form, right? Because without the Google form, we cannot issue the certificates for you because it's an automated process. And after the event, then we'll do some Q&A session whereby we will be giving you 3 questions and you have to answer the 3 questions, and the documentation will be given to POO, and the poly will be issuing us a grant note, and then we will issue out our e-certificates to you. So kindly make sure that all of you have already keyed in your Google Forms. And again, what I said, please go to our YouTube channel, subscribe it, because as what I've said to the yesterday's class as well, all the videos that is uploaded is really beneficial for you because we're going to upload it on now and then, every week, every day, every Thursdays, we'll be having our own webinars. We can see that all this is related to green technology because now PO is going towards green technology, and your final year project, they're focusing fully on green technology. So I believe that all of you are from civil, right?
Yes.
I need some interactions. Yes, good, great. So I believe that all of you are from civil engineering. So together with that, maybe we can come up with some innovations, and we will see that if one of your innovation is good enough for us, okay, we will buy your idea. Okay, that is a sleek promise that what we can give you. So we will see that if your innovation is good, we'll discuss with POO and we will try to come up with a way to commercialize it. All right. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Vishwa. Okay. I'm the secretary for Green Technology Malaysia Society. So this is a society we have already started from 2014. Okay. So we are considered very new to others, but in the government's policy, yes, we have already been there before even the setting of green technology is available to Malaysia. Okay, so okay, let us start. Okay, with my presentation. I believe that we have 56 participants. I hope that the others can join in as well. And those who didn't, can't able to join in, no worries. The video will be there in the YouTube. All right. So, okay. This, all right. All right. No choice. Okay, I have to do it like this. Okay. So, to start the event, the webinar, let me start with a small video. All right. Okay. So this is me. I'm the Honorable Secretary for the association, and this is our association. Can everyone view the screen or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, good morning. Please be interactive because we are doing live webinar, so I need some input from you. Very good. Okay, so yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, let's go to our first video. Sorry.
Hello, sir. You can't hear the video, sir?
Can't hear the video?
Yes, sir. The video is playing without sound.
All right. Hold on. Let me clear up back. Okay, no worries, because this is just a video only, okay? But you can still view in your recorded version, all right? So I'll put a stop to this. Okay, let's go to the class, right? So let's go to our webinar, right? So, okay, see, all of you are from civil, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So all of you from civil. So first of all, you want to build a house that is green technology compliant. What is the first thing you should think of? Okay, from our point of view, because we are from the green technology department, all right? So what we think is the first thing that you can think of is the location, all right? First of all, when you're building a house, how far is the distance from the public transportation to your house? All right, and how far is the transportation infrastructures available? Okay, so you might have a lot of infrastructures, you might have a lot of utilities, may vary, but if you use the existing infrastructure, you're good to start by reducing the impact on your environment. So you see, how many of you like a lorry passing by your house every day, now and then? I believe most of you don't like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely, because you see, we have this noise pollutions and everything. Okay, so but at the same time, if you can view a place, okay, a kampong area where you have very nice trees and things like that, a sustainable environment, and at that point you start building a house, you're very, very happy to stay there, right? It's something like a heaven for you, right? So how we are going to make a metropolitan area to be at such? So it's a little bit problematic for us to come up with this type of issues. But yes, there are areas that is like outskirts of these metropolitans. And there you can actually plan to do a house. And I'm giving you the ideas why, because you are in the civil area, you can actually come up with the project managers and project companies, and you can come up with this type of ideas. We are going into green. Seriously, we're going into green now. So these are the very, very important inputs that you can give to someone that you're going to work with, or maybe you become the project's owners. So you can come up with this type of ideas, all right? And especially now you're going to go to innovations, right? So in your innovations, you can actually put in all these elements, all right? So, and then try to avoid the hazardous areas like flood zones. Because if you build a hazardous house, it should withstand the hazard. Okay, let me see. If I'm going to go and build a house in Pahang, Pahang is having flood now and then. So is it really safe for me to build houses by bricks and then I have to demolish it back if there is any event of hazardous content there? So we have to think of materials and ways of building house that is sustainable. We don't want to like put a house and after a few while, then you have some natural disasters and you have to demolish the house and things like that. So it has to be very good, very powerful and very strong so it can withstand the hazard. All right. Building a house twice is definitely not a green, right? All right. And then you go to the next slide. Huh? Okay, layout. Okay, can anyone tell me what is the best layout for green? I'm opening the question here. Can anyone answer me, please? Okay, I'll answer the question. Okay, did you know that igloos are very energy efficient houses? Why? Because igloo, if you see the igloo, is a hemisphere, right? Hemisphere, it's a round building. Okay, in a hemisphere, it will actually reduce the heat loss. Similar to if you have your house and your house is big, very big. So what happens is when it is very big and stretched out, you have to use a lot of air conditioners, a lot of what we call it, if it is a cold country, you have to use a lot of heaters to heat up the place. Yes. So if it is a small house, a very small house, and it is a tall building. Okay, normally in green, we say that, see, I've given the example here. A compact two-story house will tend to be more efficient than one-story spread house. You see, a big house is worse compared to a small house with a two stories. Okay, so terrace houses now, you see that most of the designs here, they're coming up with studio apartments, coming up with small houses, right? It is actually more efficient compared to our kampong houses. I mean, the lot houses, right? Why? Because you need a very big lot, and to grow that, to make that the houses to be air conditioned and to maintain the temperature inside the house, it's a big jargon for us, right? So there are some other ways that you can think of on how to come up with a good type of thermostats, automated temperature controllers and things like that. Okay, this will come to the next topics. All right. Okay, so something like this is good. In green, we say that this type of houses are very good because normally in Malaysian culture, they have already been planted. Okay, what we say, a well-to-do guy, okay, a well-to-do guy normally will have what? Okay, I see that a lot of people here. Okay, good, great. So if a well-to-do guy, you'll say that he's having a two-story building, a very big building. And if he's like having a big house, he says we automatically we think that he's well-to-do, right? But the actual scenario is, you see how many households here in Malaysia is having children's more than two, more than three. When our Dato Nini time, yes, definitely, right? How many of you agree to this?
I agree, sir.
Yes, you see,
Yes, sir.
families now are very small, but they tend to buy a very big house. And end of the day, then they're just space, empty spaces left out just like that. And we are not energy efficient. So in order to cool the whole house, okay, we need to install so many air cons all over the place. And it is not energy efficient, right?
Yes.
So our suggestion actually, because it's another way, we are adapted to a culture that everyone is telling that, hey, if you're good enough, you have to buy a big house, you have to show to community that you're well-to-do and things like that. It's already been planted in our head, right?
Yeah.
But yes, but how many of you are really thinking on green? Why do I need so many big house? I'm so big house. Why do I need so many air conditioners? Why do I need so many? 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 And myself and my wife and my kids are only staying here. And I believe that the house with 1,000 square feet is more than enough for me. Okay. So most of this ideology is coming from the environment, okay, the society. So we cannot do much about that. So never mind, let's go to the next one. And as I said, remember a smaller house will be more affordable than a large house. Okay, that is one, cost compliant. The next house is smaller house are inherently more efficient and less wasteful, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So now orientations. Okay, can you see the full slides or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because I'm seeing my face here. All right. Okay, let me try to close it down. Hold on. Just give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, all right. Okay, then we have the orientation. Okay, this is a very, very important thing. Eh? Okay, what is orientation is all about? Okay, you build a house. Okay, when you build a house, you have to make sure that where is the sun rises, right?
Yes.
Why do you have to do that?
To sun enter inside the house to make the house bright.
Perfect. Another way?
Um,
Any others? Any other point of views?
To make the house bright.
Yeah, I can say that. Okay.
To keep from dim lah.
Yeah.
I mean, not
You
to
see,
keep from
if
dim.
we have a good windows and the sun is rising, you'll have free light source for your house, right?
Yes.
And then coming back to the culture again, how many of you having houses with windows that is openable? Like the previous one is small, right? You're having houses, we are having home with the windows that is openable. How many of you are still having that?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Got sir.
Got, huh?
Yes, sir.
How
We
many
got.
of you is having window that is non-openable? Most of the houses now are designed in a way that it is fully closed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens to the air from outside?
Can I enter inside the house?
Yeah. Alternatively, what we're doing is we're actually blocking the lights and we're blocking the air ventilations and everything. See,
Yes.
the government's latest study done by government, especially the Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, they're telling that the air that is polluted inside the house is much worse than the outside air. Why? Because we are actually inhaling the same air continuously. And the measurement of it is how many times that we are actually opening the door and closing the door. And what type of ventilation we are having inside the house. Do we have ERCs or not? Okay. What we call it, the regulations, the ventilation regulations. Are we having it in our houses or not? No. Most of the houses are not fit with ventilators. Okay. Yes, you're fixing it in your kitchen for your cookings, right? But do you have a real life ventilators in your house? No, definitely not. So from my point of view, I will say that you are the civil guys, right? Okay, when you're building houses, try to come into ideas of doing a motorized ventilators, whereby you can have air sealed building, but try to come up with a vents that is motorized. That means you can open and close the vents, like maybe every day you can just open, or you can set up a timer, maybe morning, a few hours, it will open and close. Or if it is raining, it closes by itself. Okay, you can put some sensors or water sensors and things like that. Okay, try to come up with this type of innovations. I'm giving you some ideas for your AN projects. So this is very, very important, as you can actually reduce the majority of pollution. All right. And then you see here, nowadays the house, you can see that the sun shades and the roof overhang is totally different. Why? Because they try to avoid, okay, let me see whether I have the pictures or not. Huh? Okay, you see, you have the natural light coming here, okay, and we can use, okay, this is the other topics lah. Okay, we have the high R value insulations. So this is the insulations. Okay, this is the passive cooling, and we have the ERV, whereby you have the ventilations coming out and in. Okay, so this is actually to the last, but I've already put it to the front. Never mind. As long as you can understand it better, I'm quite relieved if you can understand it. All right. Do you know what is a VOC paint or not?
Don't know, sir.
Anyone?
No, don't know, sir.
Okay, so you see, after this class, I want you to actually answer the 3 questions, which I'll be putting it in Google, and in your in the video that I'm going to post it in YouTube. Okay, give the answers to me in email and together with this. Okay, what is low VOC paint, right? But I have the 3 questions which I'll be revealing you after this. But this is somehow something that you have to know, because for other classes, I don't think that it is very important, but you as a civil, definitely you need to know about this, all right? So, okay, coming to this. So this is actually an overview of the whole topic that we're going to talk, right? So let me go to the next slide first, right? And then we can come back to this. Okay, and then come up with local materials. Don't go and get materials from far away. Try to get the local materials. Why? Because this is one, it is very depending on where you want to build the house, right? And then if there is a small quarry near your house, okay, you can still use the wasted stones, right, to your patio. Okay, so these are some things that actually can make your house look beautiful. At the same time, you have like materials which is thrown away. So that is the reason why we're telling you, find local materials, because when you go to local material, you'll have recyclable materials in your hand. It will be very handy for you, all right? So going to the next topic, I'll be going a bit fast, okay? So recycling is very important, you know, right?
Yes.
Green technology is recycling. So there are a lot of recycled material available, right? So you see, okay. So it has to be balanced with availability, depending on where you are, the materials are easy. Okay, all this is already like in your this one, you can actually read it. So countertops made of recycled glass. How many of you have seen this? Okay, I know a company in Chamo, okay, they're doing cardboards. They're not doing just cardboards, they're doing furnitures using cardboards. So whenever there is a cardboard being thrown away, they will take that cardboard and they will convert it to become a furniture. You can Google it, right? So these are some of the ways that we can actually use the recycled material to come up with beautiful designs. All right, so you see, reclaimed food. You know what is a reclaimed food? When he does, the contractor, he demolishes a building, right? There will be lots of wastages, the stones, the woods, the doorknobs, and all these things. So what we're doing is we're actually throwing it away, and we are we are not using it at all. But actually, all these reclaimed the masonry, the bricks, the stones, and everything from a demolished house, okay? When you're doing a renovation, you'll have all these old bricks, right? So these are actually reusable. Maybe I'm not from the civil, correct me if I'm wrong. Can we reuse the bricks or not? From the demolished building?
Need to see the brick first, sir.
Yeah. No, what I'm telling is okay, if you're going
think
to do a
can.
concrete, before you're doing concrete, you're going to lay the bricks, right?
Yeah.
For that, use these old bricks can be used, right?
Need to see the condition of the
The
brick, right?
condition of the bricks. Huh? Okay, fine. Maybe you have to correct me on that, lah. Because we are on a recyclable materials only one. So and then
Oh,
reuse the soil from excavation, right? Whenever
yeah.
we do the renovation, we'll do the excavation, right? That soil
Yes,
can be
sir.
reused back for the building of the house, right?
Yes.
And then we have roof shingles, and we have plastic products with recyclable contents, and we have drywalls material that can be recycled. And you'll also want to reduce the job site waste and make sure the contractor recycles all the job site waste materials during construction. If you're on the project manager side, you can try to make it in such a way that you can actually reuse back all the materials during the construction, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are some of the ways that recyclable materials can be reused back again and again. Okay, it may not look very clean because I zoomed the picture, but if you see in an actual zoom, if in an actual Google image, it's very beautiful, very beautiful because they're using all the old glasses, using all the old stones, and it's giving a different aura for the house actually. All right. This is just an example, but don't build houses like this. All right. Okay, insulations and ceilings. I believe that all of you have already studied about this, right? So whenever we do any houses, we make sure that we don't want the air from leaking from the house. Okay. See, these are the 2 points that I'm talking just now. The first one, I told you before that we want a vent so that the air can come in because we're doing it so airproof that the houses are actually polluted. But in another way, we must have a small circulation in the house. But that should be done via automated or motorized vents, but not through cracks or crevices in your walls. Okay? Because if you have that, then you will actually uh, make your thermostat or the house, automated temperature control system to work in a failure mode, right? So normally they do the blower door test, and if there is the air pressure, it determines whether there is a leaking and at what rate it is leaking. So this is all done in overseas, and normally in Malaysia, what we do is we try to seal it with something like this. Have you seen this or not?
Yes, sir.
So we do something like this to seal.
Sir,
Yes.
sorry, sir. Our friend cannot enter the meeting yet because you didn't accept them.
No. That is what I said. Okay. Very sorry because we can only accept 100 packs. Okay. The rest can actually view this in their YouTube because another 15 minutes, 10 minutes, the webinar will be over. And you can actually go and view the video again in the webinar. In the YouTube. So whatever links that we have given you in a Google form, right? So that is still accessible. If you don't have that, you can kindly ask Dr. Sunita to resend to you again. You have been given a WhatsApp link, right? With a QR code.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
All right.
you can just go and view the QR code and please subscribe and view the videos. All right, this video will be uploaded immediately after this, the session is end. Okay, no need to worry. All right. Okay, then.
All right, sir.
Okay,
Alright, sir.
great. So these are the installations that we've done in a roof, right? Okay, so this is what I said. In China, they have this. This is what they call as motorized vents. And it's very beautiful. So try to come up with innovation that can actually, can imitate this. It will be very good because you don't want to buy a good windows and install them with a poor quality, right? So
Yes.
make sure that it's going to cost you, to run for a long period of time, right? So that is very good. And okay, this is what I said. Oh my God, already give me the answer. So volatile organic compounds is called as VOC. Okay, VOC is what? Okay, VOC is actually paints and things that actually damaging the ozone. Okay, okay. What happens is the O3 ozone are depleted. So what we say that normally all these paints make sure that it is VOC compliant. Okay, we don't want to use VOCs. Okay, like last time when we're having a fridge, we're using freon gas, terrible damage to ozone.
Yes.
And then they reduced it, and now we're using a different type of gases, right? Similar to your air conditioner also. Last time we were using a different type of aircon, now we're using R3. Okay, why we're doing that? Because we want to remove or diminish the effects of whatever we have done so far. We're trying to resolve it, all right? And still, people are trying to replenish the ozone, but it is still not applicable. Why? Because we are still not up to that level yet. We are still like, you're continuously damaging it, okay? Okay, now my question is very simple. How many of you having house, you're having a TV in the house, all of you having a house TV,
Yes.
right? Okay,
Yes,
all
sir.
the TV, is it having this or not? Energy Star.
No.
Yeah. Why we are using this? I mean, the logo. It is telling that this electronic device is efficiently using the energy stored inside it. All right. And this one, normally,
Yeah.
what we go when we are going for new appliances, normally we go for the price, right? How many
Yes.
of you are actually looking into this?
My parents.
Very little. Okay. You see, we are looking only for the initial part. We are buying an air condition for the price of 1,300 with a 2-star. That means it is going to compile very, very high energy. But
Yes.
it is initially it is cost saving. But in the long run, you're going to waste your money a lot. Try to go with electrical equipments with 5 stars. So you see, I'll be telling in Malay, ya, lebih banyak bintang, lebih jimat tenaga. This is actually the grade that what we are expecting, right? Try to come up with this type of solutions for your people, okay? When you're going to build a house, you're going to give them furnitures or things like that, or even from yourself, you want to do any buying any furnitures, try to come up with this. You're going to initially invest a little bit more, but on the long run, you're going to save it, right? And then LED lights, I don't need to tell you guys, it's like very common now already, right? So it's a very energy efficient for home design features, right? These are some of the gadgets, right? It's a very basic gadgets. And then, how many of you know about this? Water conserving and rainwater harvesting. It's a very, very important topic for green technology. How many of you know about this? Okay. So rainwater harvesting is an excellent alternative for LAP water source. Okay. To reduce the high dependability to treated tap water for irrigation system. Let me say, okay, we are using treated water to plant the trees and plants and for toilets. Is it a waste or not? Okay, if we can create a tank at the rooftop or at the bottom of the house, and we can collect all the rainwaters, and we can use a small pumps to lavatories and irrigation systems, that would be a better manner, right? So you see, this is a very simple example on how a rainwater harvesting is done. See, you have the rainwater coming, and you have all this water coming into the big tank, and you have a tap, and this tap, okay, you can actually use it to plant your trees. Okay, you can fix to your pump, and you can actually use it for your lavatories, toilets, washing machines, and things like that, because it's very pure water. Okay, normally all the sediments will be at the bottom. The water will be very clean. Normally it will be very clean, right? So these are some ways that you can actually minimize the effects and minimize the wastages and efficiently use the sources available. Guys, girls, okay, how many of you know what is HVAC? Heat, ventilation, and what?
Air condition.
Okay, so my my second question will be this actually. What is smart thermostat? All the houses now, they're coming up with smart thermostats. Either it's a standalone equipment or you have IR controlled equipment. Okay, the sustainable home, it has this type of smart thermostats. Thermostats can actually reduce your energy consumptions by learning your patterns and optimizing around your comfort level. Because normally, in houses you have air condition, we recommend you to put it to 25 and above. That is considered cool enough. But some, they like to go into 16, where it is making your air condition to work 24/7, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll have like air condition with split units, whereby you can have mini units, multiple split units, whereby you'll have a centralized aircon and you'll have cassette type to all the rooms inside your house. That is a very cost-saving alternative rather than using individual aircons for individual house, right? So these are some of the things, but I don't want to touch much on this because this is definitely energy saving only. Okay, this is a very important topic. How many of you know about solar panel?
Yes, sir.
Very
We
good.
know.
Yes. So you see, I don't want to talk much about this because you see, solar it it stores the energy and it gives lights, all these normal things, right? But
Yes.
I'm going to the very, very small input here. Okay. In every household, the basic necessity of the power source is to power what? Our entertainment systems and our electronic devices. Much similar to calculators, a small solar panel setup is sufficient to act as a charging station for multiple electronic devices. Can you agree with me on that?
Yes.
Yeah. So try to come up with an innovation. Okay, I would try to reveal a small thing for you. UITM, they have already come up with this. Mara, okay? They have come up with some sort of, I would say a bus stop, something like a bus stop session, whereby they put a solar on the top and they have charging sessions at the both of their pillars. So people can actually sit while waiting for the bus and things like that. They can actually charge their phones using free energy. That is a very sustainable idea. You guys also can come up with this type of ideas. Maybe in your future houses that you're going to build, you can actually use the solar panels and you can put the USB ports everywhere in the houses because it is going to cost like 5 volts. Maximum is 12 volts. 5 volts is the common for USB volt. This one, right? And you're going to use 2.1 only. So it's going to be very cost efficient for all to actually use the solar panels rather than using the electrical this one. Because what the electrical, the charger does is it actually converts the 240 volts to 5 volts to power up your device. Why not you just use the solar panel for that, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is windmills. Okay, windmill for our country, I believe that yes, but we are not 24/7 on a windy environment, right? So if you're staying in a place or you see you can identify a place with a very good windmill, and then a very good windy area, then you can consider on installing a windmill. Windmill will be something like solar, where it also can energize electricity, like similar to the dynamo that we used those days for bicycles, right? So similar to that, a small turbine we can actually generate small currents. Okay, this is what I like the most, and I really want you guys to think of it. Okay, solar hot water system. Normally, you see that all the well-to-do people, they have their solar panels in their house, right? Okay, it's already 40 minutes. Okay, I'll try to speed up a bit. Okay, you have solar panels, right? And then you have a water heater system. Okay, my suggestion is, rather than this, try to come up with a way that you can actually install a metal tank, hot tank. Okay, metal tank, which can actually expose to direct heat, solar, okay, sun. And then that heat from the water, from the tank, can
Transfer.
actually retain. Can you understand or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so normally in the morning when you're going for bath, okay, in the early morning, you might need hot water. You must have to use the heaters, right? But in the afternoon, sometimes, or in the evenings when you're going for uh, your bath, you might not need to use the heat water because sometimes the tap water will be very hot, right?
True.
Yes. So we can come up with this type of ideas, how we can actually use the heat dissipations to the water tanks, and that water tank can actually use a good amount of what we call it, to reduce the electrical dependency,
Wow.
right? And then we have smart home concepts. Okay, this is what the actual topic is about. But okay, smart home automations are normally managed by sensors. We have devices in our house. It senses enough light from the sun, and it switches off the light. You know the photovoltaic things, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Photoresistors, where at night it offs the light by itself
Yeah.
automatically. When the sun sets, immediately the light on, and sun comes, the light off. It may look very simple, but it is very energy efficient things. And then we have occupancy sensors. We have the motion sensor, right? When you come into the house, when the motion is detected or the infrared is detected, then immediately the thing starts to work. Like your light, your fan, and everything can be connected to a motion sensor, right? So when there is nobody in the house, normally all the equipments are turned off. These are some of the ways that we can actually resolve this. Okay, this is what I want you guys to really think of and do. Compost bins. Okay, in US, they've already invented this, but in Malaysia, we're still lacking on this. Okay, in the houses, normal big houses, we have a dustbin and we have all these facility to throw the dust, tong sampahs and everything, right? So what if we can come up with a bin which can incinerate and burn the beans, the bin that can burn all these what the wastage, the wasted products and everything, like the banana peels, dead leaves, cow poops, and everything. Yeah? Okay, because all these things, once it is incinerated, it can actually be used as a compost manure for your garden. So think of this, and there is a way to actually compost. Okay, it's an old way of doing things. Okay, so we can actually do a compost by using a small tin. You put all the dead leaves, you put all the vegetables, wastages, and everything, and you put a small scoop of 2 scoops of gula melaka inside, close it, and every day, you just open it and pour some water in. On the 7th day, you take that water and you pour to your garden. And I can guarantee you'll have the best compost manure you can find anywhere. All right. So it is very, very easy to do. And these are some of the ways that you can actually make compost bajars by your own. All right. You can go to Google, you can see by yourself how there are ways to do to resolve these wasted materials, right? And then we have smart appliances. Most of our appliances are smart appliances, but they're not so smart. Why? Because we have to actually monitor it. So they are energy efficient and they provide good for your own home automations. But you see, some appliances, they have the facility to actually shut off when there is any issues. Okay, but certain things are not. So when that happens, you're actually wasting the arc, or the current is wasted there. So let's not touch on that topic much. Okay, and then some green homes have separate automation system for managing lighting, security, appliances, and temperature. Okay, green smart homes have a single home automation system capable of monitoring and managing all the components at home. Okay, this is what you're going to do. Okay, try to come up with ideas when you're building your houses. Try to come up with smart home automation systems. Okay, all these are Googled, easily Googled. You can you can get all this information from Google actually, right? Go to Shopee, you can get tons of this. Just put a name, what is a single home automation system. They will come up with so many devices, especially the IR device, which can actually connect to all the appliances in your house. It's similar to you having a remote control to control all your TV, your air conditions, and everything. So the smart devices, it's easily available at the rate of 100 to 150 ringgits, not USD. 100 and 150 ringgits, you can actually get a device which is very smart, and you can actually control it using your phone by just connecting it to an internet, right? Try to Google it down and get the hand on that things, all right? Okay, and then smart plugs. You know what is a smart plug, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, smart plugs. You plug it and it has an IP, you connect it to your phone, and then you can actually monitor that on-off switches through your phone.
Yeah.
Yep. All this, okay. So I'm ending this session, right? So I hope that all of you have benefited, right?
Yes,
From the session. So if there is anything you want to add on, kindly add on. I have any questions, kindly ask me. But I will be giving you the questions, the 3 questions. Okay. The first question is, what green technology is going to work for you on a smart home automation? Okay. This is just a basic question. The actual questions, I'll be posting it in your YouTube. All right. The second question will be, how a thermostat can be alternated with other devices which is available in the market. Name a few. All right. Right. The third question will be, how green technology can be utilized in your year-end project. All right. So the actual question will be given to your YouTube. So kindly wait. I will upload this video to YouTube. Ask your friends who cannot attend this Zoom session to go and view the videos there. And I would like to end this call with a very, 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 very thank you. And
thank you, sir.
yes. Because I would like to thank PU as well, Polytechnic Unkoma, for giving us the opportunity to give you the webinar. I believe that all of you have really benefited from this. And I'm sincerely hoping that you can come up with a very good innovation for your year-end project. And that project, we can actually try to embed into households. Because our dream is every house, one solar. Okay? And that is our vision. And for that, we are having a mission by engaging all you guys. Try to help us. Okay? Go green. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.